weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
I love that movie, man.
It was different. I don't want to say it was bad. It was just fucking weird.
But anyway,
yeah,
Shaolin Sofa episode that may or may not be up. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh,
it will be up very, very soon. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back. We have somebody commenting from 3 Geeks podcast. I'm going to go on a limb and say that's George, because I don't think he knows how to switch back to the name. But if you guys
hacked.
George's Perfect 10 joined our network, or not network, our Facebook page. And the Perfect 10, they're actually taking a hiatus today because Max, George makes his panel for his sports show. They each have to pick 4 football teams. They have to study gameplay footage, and they have to really, really know about these 4 teams. And then they have to make a mock schedule of how the winners of each of their games is. And then they come together and they discuss it. So that's why he's taking the day off, because and George is going through every NFL team and gonna, guess who the winners and such are gonna be throughout the season. And George, you called that nerdy, and I 100% agree to you. Even though I don't think that's the real reason you skipped out today, I think it's because of the backlash you've been getting for 3 Amigos that you decided to take a week off.
No, that's too much work for me.
Yeah, that's way too much work.
I mean, I enjoy watching football. I don't enjoy doing homework.
I don't really enjoy watching football, so.
Well, I mean, for his thing, you're obviously not on the Sports Nerds podcast.
No, I'm not.
That's just too much work for me.
Men throw a ball and then run, and then yay.
I'm also currently not writing down my top 5 90s comedies. That's not what I'm writing down. It's something else entirely.
Yeah, you had that done last week.
Yes. I already have that finished. The list is completed. I just wanted to throw that out there. Notebook and pen guy. Not writing down my top 5.
Let's check in with what George is doing right now. There it is. He's working hard on that that NFL roster. But anyway, it's the 3 Geeks podcast. We're joined today by Mike from youtube.com/Mike McGTV. Check out all the wonderful things he's doing over there. And I've actually gotten a lot of messages because our fundraiser we did with Scene Snobs to help my sister, I talked about the date I was going on yesterday. And I've actually gotten a lot of Facebook messages asking me how said date went. And I want to thank you, Sherry Nelson. Sherry Nelson sent me a very, very nice message Friday night in anticipation of my date. So Sherry, God, I love you. You're always welcome on our show. But so it was fun. We went to PF Chang's. I'd never been there before. I've never had Chinese food more than $8 Chinese food. So it was their food doesn't taste like the traditional sweet and sour chicken or sesame chicken, but it's really, really, really good.
You know that having a large Chinese background.
Dan's face during that whole thing is like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah, you got to get the pot stickers when you go there. Sorry. Carry on.
I know that for next time, man, because I definitely am going back. They're going to have all my business now because it was worth the extra $6 that it would have been if I'd gotten sunflower or something. But after that, we went to the bookstore. We looked at some books because I was hoping the Criterion movies were still on sale. I finally had a little extra money. I could finally buy some. I could afford to get 2. And they weren't on sale. So
they're very stringent on that July deadline. If you aren't there.
So I can get them in December again. That's when they usually do it the second time. So fingers crossed that I have money then to spend and splurge on movies. But we ended up going to see Jungle Cruise in the theater, and we went to an AMC Prime theater, which I had never been to one of their Prime screens. And I'm telling anybody out there that is a movie fan, if they have a Prime screen near you, it's worth it to go. First off, the reclining chairs that they have 2 different switches to control, the leaning back and the seat. And I'm telling you, one of these controls, the seat accepts you into it as you're pushing it down. And it is amazing. I felt like I was one with the chair. I was one with the chair. I didn't want to get up. You can ask her. I made a very inappropriate joke during our date. I said, this might be the first dough I've ever gotten with you. And, as the seat was taking me in.
Well, at least
and she found it.
And she wants to go on a second date with you.
She did.
I mean, there you go.
She found it funny, man.
I'm
telling you, my sense of humor and everything. I wanted her to know who I am, and it's important to me. I don't want to hide my sense of humor.
That is important.
Seat acceptance.
And I'm glad that
seat acceptance. Watch the film From the Womb.
I couldn't help it, man. I'm telling you, you haven't experienced comfort in a movie theater until you sat in this chair.
I can't. It's already bad enough, like with the decent reclining seats that they have in the regular theaters now. Like, I can't be too comfortable. I'll just fall asleep.
Yeah.
Like, then I gotta fucking pay to go see the movie again. Like, there is a such thing as too comfortable in a movie theater.
But Max, it's a Ghost in the Shell movie. It'll be great.
And the surround sound.
I can sit in like with on a bed of nails, and the Ghost in the Shell movie still made me fall asleep. But
I think that's my favorite movie watching experience with you guys, though. Anyway.
So anyway, the sound, the surround sound that they have in this Prime theater it's just gorgeous. It is absolutely beautiful. And I wish, I'm not going to say anything against Jungle Cruise because I thought the movie was fine, but if I had seen Star Wars or maybe a Marvel movie in that theater, like, I just can't imagine what the sound would have been like. Like, it was amazing, crisp HD sound, and the picture quality was true HD. Like, it looked beautiful. So anybody out there, pay the extra $3 or $4. Check out the AMC Prime Theater, because I'm telling you, it's a movie experience. I feel like at this point in movie-going cinema, the theaters need to make it more of an experience going to the theater than sitting at home, because I think the sound quality at my house is better than most regular movie theaters at this point. So, but yes, AMC Prime, check it out. But we saw Jungle Cruise, and The Rock, man, The Rock is just, he's a charming guy. He does a lot of dad jokes on purpose. There's supposed to be dad jokes in this, even though he's not. His character doesn't play a dad. He's just a guy that tells lame jokes. And every time he drops one of these dad jokes, you can't help but laugh at the absurdity of this guy, because like nobody else is laughing at him. They're just blankly staring. But I thought The Rock and Emily Blunt's chemistry was amazing, and I feel bad for John Krasinski.
500-pound dude who tells dad jokes. That's like his whole backstory.
But he lives, he tells jokes. There you go.
I thought their chemistry was great. I felt like the movie dragged a little bit towards the middle. It's like a fun. I'm not going to compare it to Indiana Jones because I know a lot of people will. It's like a National Treasure level movie where you go, you can have fun with it. But it's not going to be something you're going to keep revisiting. But it's got The Rock in it and not Nicolas Cage, which automatically elevates it in the charmingness. This movie's very charming.
I'm okay. This is odd that I'm going to interject here, but I would.
Fans are going to fire back.
I like The Rock a lot, but having just watched Willy's Wonderland, I would rather have Nicolas Cage just doing bizarre shit with the pinball machine.
Yeah,
I would.
And having seen Nicolas Cage in Pig, his dramatic turn, like I'd say, it can still be as compelling as well. Nicolas Cage can do both. The Rock is he's a nice middle. I'll say The Rock is a very nice marketable middle.
Yeah, it's fun.
Nicolas Cage is. You never know exactly what you're gonna get.
Exactly,
you're pretty sure what you're gonna get.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what The Rock is. When he goes into Black Adam, I have a pretty good idea of what that Black Adam is gonna be like. Like Nicolas Cage is Black Adam, though. Ooh.
There you go.
Yeah, you don't know what that is. I wouldn't cast Nicolas Cage as Black Adam, but I would have to go see that movie. You're like, well, you gotta see what he does.
Shazam.
Nicolas Cage just goes into the reading, and he's like, "Hey, I need to have a unicycle, and I only eat toast."
Armadillo.
Jungle Cruise 2, The Rock and Nicolas Cage. I'm sold, guys. I'm sold. I give Jungle Cruise a 3 out of 5. It's a fun film. So then, we end the date. We go home, and about 2 hours later, I get a text from John saying that there is a active shooter at the AMC at Easton because he's at the Funny Bone. So they had to rush John into the Funny Bone. So because originally our date was going to be that would be about the time we'd be getting out of the theater. So I'm glad I chose an earlier lame noon date. So
somebody complained about the seats.
Yeah, we all appreciate that.
We're making our way back to normalcy now. Theater shootings.
Don't you just miss those?
Oh God.
Jesus.
So people out there, avoid shootings. Go to dates at noon. Emily, if you're watching, leave a comment out of 10 and let me know what you thought the date was in the comments.
Literally, no one shoots up a theater at noon. Like, this never happened. It's not gonna happen.
I don't know, man.
It's only the later shows where like that movie got sold out, and the guy's like, "Fine, I'll buy a ticket to fucking G.I. Joe," and then he sneaks into Jungle Cruise and just shoots up the whole theater because he's pissed off that everyone's sitting down except for him.
And they still blame it on Joker.
No, I think he bought a ticket to Space Jam and was pissed off at how bad that movie was.
Why would you buy a ticket to Space Jam?
Yeah, it's for free.
You can just watch that on HBO Max or a friend's HBO Max.
Oh my God!
Save yourself some anger there. Just watch it at home and just be mad at home.
No, because if you watch it at home, then you have to shoot up your own house. Fuck that.
Jesus. We're not all Bible thumping Republicans. Speaking of HBO Max, though, I watched Suicide Squad.
Yep.
I watched it at the theater.
I thought it was really fucking good.
Yeah, I really, really like that movie.
Yeah, I love the back and forth between Idris Elba and John Cena. That's a sentence that I would have never thought I would say. and yet, I mean, it was so good.
I liked Idris a lot in it because I was afraid. I'm like, oh, is it just gonna be because Will Smith isn't and he's gonna fill the role that Will Smith? It's a totally different type of approach from Will Smith.
He's just gonna play Luther through the whole thing.
Yeah, except he's freaked out by rats, which makes me.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted from Will Smith. Like, the Idris Elba is what I wanted from Will Smith in the first one, but Will Smith always has to be a good guy. Like, he can't just be a bad guy. And so it's like he turned out to not be great for the part. But Idris Elba was awesome. I think John Cena, like, the role was perfectly written for John Cena. Like, he's got the comedic chops to pull it off, but like just the straight faced fucking like, oh, I fight for freedom, like that dude is ridiculous. There's not an oversaturation of Harley Quinn. I thought it was like just enough Harley Quinn. This is the first movie where I was like, all right, Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn. I really fucking dug her in this movie. It was very well paced, very well done. The only thing I didn't like was the 8 minutes ago this happened. They did that like 4 or 5 times in the movie, and I fucking can't stand that.
You know, at least they didn't do that with like a 20-song musical montage in 3 minutes. Okay,
and like the music choices made sense in this.
Yeah. I really liked most of them. I actually really liked Harley Quinn in this one, which is
Yeah, because I feel like she wasn't overdone. And guess what? There's actually a reason to have Harley Quinn there. Yeah. It's like, okay, we need 8 people to. All right, I'm not going to spoil it, but like, the thing that they sent her to do, I see Harley Quinn being able to do. Like, it's.
And I love that it also has Doctor Who in it for some reason.
Yep, he's in it.
So that's cool.
It's almost as if the director is really good at making team movies.
He's just good. James Gunn's just good at making movies. I mean, I don't think I've seen a James Gunn movie I haven't liked yet.
I could show you some, but they're a long time ago. I love them, but you won't.
Yeah, it's like we can. I was about to say Dan and I are familiar with some James Gunn stuff that we enjoy, but for completely different reasons.
Emily writes, "Am I only limited to rating the date from 1 to 10, or can I go outside of the 1 to 10 range? Side note: a noon date is definitely not lame.
These knobs go up to 11."
Yep. Yeah, you can make your own rating system, but you have to tell us how many what's out of what. So like, how many ninja stars out of Batman did you give the day?
How many ninja stars out of Batman going to lunch at some Paris croissant place? There you go.
And also noon movie times are perfectly fine. I used to go to matinee showings all the time just because I hate people.
Yeah.
So,
that's why I still go to 3D movies, honestly, because 3D movies, no matter when you go, you're guaranteed to be one of like 4 people in the theater.
Except that they always give me a headache. So.
I like Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday at like 1 or 2 o'clock.
Nice. Max froze up. Is it just us, Mike?
Probably.
I'm still here.
Oh, there we go. They're both back now.
Hello?
No.
I was really hoping it would just focus on Max.
You like this?
Let's get 2 hours of that.
Am I stuck?
You're
no,
fine.
You were.
You're good now,
We're just giving you shit now.
I was like, wait a minute, do I exist?
The seat accepted you.
Yes. You can now watch your film from the womb.
Out of 5, what do you guys rank Suicide Squad? I guess just you again, Mike.
I guess. I'll give it a 3.5 or 4. I liked it. It was fine. Perfectly good.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch. I meant to watch it before we did this show, but I worked some more yesterday, and then this morning I'm really into Bosch right now. So I was watching Bosch, and I'm the only one now here. So oh no, Mike's back. Good.
What's happening?
I don't know, man.
Dan,
I guess the interwebs just want it to be us.
I guess. I haven't had Oh, Dan's gone. Dan's over here.
Yeah, see,
Am I
nice.
back?
Over here now.
Hello?
Yes,
Fred?
you're both back.
This is fun.
You're both back, and I guess I went away for a while. So
Yeah. I just got a bunch of circly things, so I dropped out and went back in again.
All right, Dan, try this again. What do you rate?
All right. First of all, I have to say that 10 in the morning on a Saturday is the best time to see a movie. there's like 3 people there, and they're all old and very quiet. But I'm gonna give this a 4.5.
Oh wow! Awesome.
I really enjoyed this one.
As somebody
the humor was fun. The only part that I didn't like was the before the big bad shows up. I thought it got a little bit yawny for about 10 minutes, but
before I go to Max for his rating out of 5, I have to ask, as a big fan, how was Nathan Fillion in this movie?
I liked him.
Nathan Fillion's in this movie?
Yep.
He's the Weasel Man, isn't he?
No,
he's TDK.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Nathan Fillion?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, he's great. He's so rememberable.
Actually, I'm gonna take like 0.05 away from it because of the Weasel.
Oh, you didn't like the Weasel?
No, I love the Weasel. I wanted to see more Weasel.
Yeah, I like the Weasel.
Yeah, if we could see the Weasel actually like start.
Yeah, because you could have had a cool dichotomy like Cena and Elba, and then King Shark and Weasel.
A Weasel.
You see?
Yeah. I will say this movie had just the right amount of Pete Davidson for me. I was just like, just the right amount.
And I love that that's Stallone, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind, oddly enough.
I give it a 4 out of 5. I had a lot of fun. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and it redeems the first fucking piece of shit movie that they made. I loved Viola Davis. I love Waller in this one. I thought like everything was played well. This is the best King Shark on screen we've had, like live action King Shark, period.
No.
And like my whole thing is like, is it better than the Assault on Arkham animated movie that they made? And I think it's right there. It's close. I can't tell which one's better. I'd have to go watch it again. But like my whole thing is like, they made a super sweet Suicide Squad movie, so I know it's possible. And like the first one obviously failed horribly. This movie is right on par with Assault on Arkham, if not a little bit better. But yeah, it's a solid flick.
Let me ask you guys a question, because DC is known for stepping in and hindering their filmmakers.
Stepping in shit. Yes, they are known for that.
So does it feel like this whole movie from beginning to end is a James Gunn film?
More or less, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I think DC just kind of like stepped back and said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. At first, DC was like probably more invasive with their stuff, and now they're just kind of like, let's let the filmmakers actually make the films they want to make. I guess
we have to fit these 50 songs in here. Stat.
And that can go well, and that can go not so great. I.e.,
that's probably what it was.
Hey, go watch Gotti.
They had to go get like licensing for so much music, like they didn't have time to fucking get in James Gunn's way.
For the sequel, they got to get John Travolta as Catman.
Except, oh jeez.
Except he's playing Gotti.
Yeah.
So I took my son.
Catman.
I took my son to see Snake Eyes a couple weeks ago, and the movie is, I'm going to use the word Mike uses, is fine. The movie's fine. And the reason I say it's fine is I wasn't offended watching the movie. It's just, it is long and it feels long. And there's parts where you're bored, because you would think going into a Snake Eyes movie, there'd be action and a lot of fighting. And there's not. There's a lot more talking. And I thought the movie was cast really well. I like who they got to play Scarlet. I like that they didn't like just throw G.I. Joe cameos in it. There's like 2 G.I. Joes in the film, except for obviously Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. But the movie, it's fine. It's better than the other 2 G.I. Joe movies. It's a nice start. The thing that bothered me the most about this movie, besides the slowness, is at the end, they lost me when they set up the sequel. Like, I'm like, you guys should have just ended this movie.
Iron Fist. What you're saying is this movie is Iron Fist.
And it's better than Iron Fist.
But does it have boardroom meetings?
There's no board.
That's what I want to know.
The fight sequences that they have are really cool. So it's not like Iron Fist, because there's no board meetings, and you're just bored because a lot of things go on a little longer.
They just have board meetings.
It's like it's the Arashikage fucking like annual financial meeting, and like Snake Eyes shows up.
Shows up like a pie chart and like some graphs.
I really
cut these in half and he like slashes it.
I really like Henry Golding as an actor, and I really liked him in this movie. This movie is a 2.5 out of 5 for me. It's middle of the road. It's exactly middle of the road. There's a few things I don't understand. I think in some movies, and this is a negative quality, I think certain people are too forgiving at the end of certain things after somebody does a lot of bad things. And that kind of happens in this. So I'm kind of confused as to why the end went the way it went. I'm not going to say how it went, because I don't want to spoil it and get yelled at on the internet like I did with Space Jam. Holy crap. You cannot talk bad about Space Jam on the internet, or your freaking DM blow up.
I'll talk bad about Space Jam. Space Jam, yeah.
Solidarity, Mike.
I haven't seen it, but I'll talk bad about it.
So what you're saying, Jason, is or what I got out of that is that you got the ending where it's like, if you kill him, you're going to be as bad as he is, and so you just lock him away so he gets to escape later.
No, nobody got locked away.
In these superhero things and these G.I. Joe things, like, I need guys to get locked up. Like, you can't just kill the villain. Like,
that's fine, but I hate that explanation. I hate that so much.
Dan,
be fine.
Yeah,
I just gotta say, Dan, I rewatched 7 last night, so when you said that, I immediately remembered.
Yeah.
Like, every movie should just have Morgan Freeman off to the side being like, "You kill him, he will win."
He just gives like moral advice while he cradles a penguin.
And then Snake Eyes just guns down whoever. There we go. Yeah.
Yes.
So
man. But no, so like the other problem for me with G.I. Joe movies is they made a sweet G.I. Joe anime, and it had everybody in it, and it was awesome. And if they can do it on that, then you can just rip that off and make the live action version, and that's a good movie. So is it better than that? What I'm hearing is no, which means why go watch it? Because you can go watch G.I. Joe Resolute and see a good G.I. Joe movie.
Watch it at home.
This is true. However, I am going to say something that's going to make Max angry, which I don't really think the G.I. Joe movies are completely terrible.
I don't either, Dan.
They're not good, okay? No. But like I can watch them and giggle through them, so they're fine for me.
I mean, they're like a majority of other franchise stuff like that in that it's just fun, ridiculous nonsense.
Yeah. Now Transformers kind of offends me. The G.I. Joe one does not.
Most of the Transformers movies are just flat out annoying, and you kind of wish they would just be more ridiculous nonsense and not annoying. The G.I. Joe movies that came before this never struck me as annoying. They were just nonsense.
Yeah,
Brendan Fraser shows up. Why not? Because Brendan Fraser is cool.
The problem I have is it's not the thing you're selling. That's the main problem I have with G.I. Joe, or a lot of this stuff. It's like it's
Fair
not
enough.
what you're selling. And you could call it anything else, and that would be fine. Or Wanted. That that's not the thing that you're selling.
Here's the thing. Sorry, Max. Go ahead.
No, that's my main problem. So it's like, they're not like the worst movie I've ever seen. They're not, obviously they're not good, but like it's just like you could have called this anything else, and that would have been fine. But you called it G.I. Joe, and now Snake Eyes has got lips on his mask.
but then no one watches it, Max, because it's not a recognizable name brand, and we all love our brands. That's the thing.
And then you find it on like Tubi 7 years from now, and you're like, hey, that's pretty good. But it's like
just make the thing, because I mean, like obviously these animators got together, they made a thing, they called it G.I. Joe, and it was actually that thing. Like I just don't understand how come it never translates into the live action, like, or I should say never, but like rarely ever, like it actually translates. Sorry.
To go back to your it's not the thing you're selling. I just picked up this Boris Karloff box set, which is pretty cool. Like except the front says the master of horror in his most frightening roles, and he's the protagonist in 3 of these. He's not being frightening. He's being frightened.
Right, like okay.
But isn't it scary how much he's scared?
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I find scared people very scary.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I do too when they're on the road with the blinkers on when it's raining. Like
Justin and I are hard at work on the new intro. The reason our new intro is taking so long is because I have pictures on like 27 different hard drives. I'm trying to get all the pictures because the new theme song is longer than the old theme song, which allows me time to share it on the internet.
Is it still mine?
I am trying to find all the pictures from cons and so forth. And we're going to add some video in it to it as well. So you might see some like little panel stuff here. So it should be a lot of fun. But Dan, I want to know, because I couldn't make it because of work, about Friday night's D&D. How did it go? I know there's a story. Dan already prompted the story. I'm like, save it for the cat.
Yeah. All right.
Man.
All right. So,
oh my God, Friday night's D&D got me in trouble with my girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, poor guy. So, there was to make it really short. There was an invasion of zombie-like creatures, which Jason, you became one of them.
All right.
But it's okay, because after some coaxing from the DM, Max's character actually just went and killed the bad thing, and along with Justin, and now your character is basically a call it like a zombie husk that you control like a puppet. So you're still a character. He's still alive, except now you have a -5 to your 30 movement, and you have a -3 on any charisma roll if whoever you're talking to sees your face.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, this means show up.
I love it.
Show up for D&D. Okay, don't not show up for D&D.
Or at least don't tell me that morning. Because then I have to rewrite other things, and that makes Dan angry.
Oh my god!
So how many rolls for initiative does it take for him to do anything then?
Oh no. He's only got a 25 movement instead of a 30. That's all. He's just oddly clunky.
Well, I am 2'9" and
for a rogue.
Pounds.
That's great for a rogue.
Yeah. That's the fun of it, Max.
Elf rogue.
you just handicap it a little bit.
Who doesn't love a short, fat zombie elf rogue?
Named Costanza.
Named Costanza.
Also, you really miss Justin's character, and his character is a freaking ball. So
yeah, Justin's character is great. It worked out really well. I would like to do a mission or a campaign, or not a campaign, whatever, fucking a session where it's not just like me and one other person.
Yeah, that would be nice.
We've tried Rogue Bard, we've tried Cleric Bard. I would like to have other things to see if my character can like fully embrace the supporter kind of role that he's supposed to be playing.
You're a third level bard, man. Just wait a couple levels and he's badass.
I mean, like, that's all right, but I'm saying, like, I'm not supposed to be the dude, like, out in front.
No.
I'm constantly having to be that guy because
I was surprised that nobody picked, like, a straight-ass fighter. So now, yeah, everybody's support.
Right. I wanted to try
which makes things great.
Yeah, no, it's great. I like the character. I like the difference. Yeah, and I see where things are cool, but it's just like, man, I wish we had a fighter.
That's okay.
You'll
be
fine. Barbarian around.
Yeah, or a fighter. just straight up fighter. The most interesting class in all in D&D. right next to the ranger.
Ranger's good. I can deal with Ranger.
I've decided I'm not bringing back Van Dam Nation. I am bringing back.
What?
I'm bringing back Throwback Thursday, but I can
fit
Van Dam stuff into Throwback Thursday, and Dan is going to do an episode with me on The Sixth Sense, which won't air this week. It'll air next week.
Are you going to watch M though? That's what I want to know.
Ooh,
I don't know what M is.
That's one of my favorite films ever. It's on HBO Max right now.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max, dude. Like it's awesome.
It's
Peter
amazing.
Lorre. It's a blast of a movie.
No.
I mean, I mean, I'm trying to sell it to Jason. Like,
it's so much fun. It's very romantic.
I know every horror movie.
It's not a horror movie necessarily.
Well,
every movie Dan recommends to me has something weird in it. Like I remember watching Videodrome for the first time without any like context. And stomach vaginas.
3 minutes of that movie, and I've been scarred forever.
Oh, poor guy.
So anytime I walk into a movie and it doesn't have a stomach vagina, I'm like, woohoo! Even though I own Videodrome now.
Stomach vagina. I gotta find more movies with stomach vaginas now, apparently.
Oh my God.
They're out there.
Yeah,
but no, seriously, Jason, M is good. And if you're looking
awesome.
for stuff on HBO Max, Carnival of Souls is really good.
It's on my list. Carnival of Souls.
I personally, I like M. Whatever.
I
like
Carnival. I enjoy Carnival of Souls, the concept. It's the organ music that gets me. It's like watching Anthropophagus.
Okay. Yeah. The organ music is kind of distracting at times, but there's some really fun shots.
I mean, I do appreciate what the man did on such a small budget when he's not even a fucking filmmaker. So absolutely. That's okay.
But no, that organ music is a lot.
Plus, watch the Riff Tracks version.
Speaking of small budget movies, I went and saw the Forever Purge. Yeah, no, it's not great. It's as far as the Purge movies go, I'd say it's one of the better Purge movies, but that's not saying anything, you know.
Awesome. Out of 5.
Out of 5, 2. 2 out of 5, maybe. Yeah, they have to escape to Mexico. I think that's the irony. Like other Americans want to escape to Mexico. It's like, yeah. So that was it. It's it's a purge movie.
Well, our guest is in the wings, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take our break right now. We'll come back. We'll chat Clerks 3, and then we'll chat 90s films. And everybody, check out the interview I did with BJ Verreau and Echo Anderson right now. We will see you guys soon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Three Geeks Conversation. It is Jason here. I am joined today by Echo Anderson and BJ Verreau. How you guys doing today?
Hey, doing pretty well. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm going to start with you, BJ. So what made you want to get into filmmaking?
Oh, I think that's something that came right from early childhood. Once I could get my mitts on some action figures, that's pretty much all I was doing. So I think it was just a natural progression as I grew up.
Nice. I guess it's a way of playing with action figures.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Echo? What made you want to get into acting?
Watching movies. It was from a very young age. I couldn't understand why I could like watch all of these great, exciting things happen and not just be a part of it. And I remember like talking to my parents at like 5 years old, being like, "Can I do that? Why can't I do that?" And they were like, "We'll put you in some acting classes. Let's do that."
What are some of the movies that impacted both of you?
Go ahead, Echo. Or do you want me to go first? I got a few that.
Go first.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's like one of my favorite all-time movies, but it definitely impacted me when I was little. I saw Leviathan, the Peter Weller film.
Oh yeah.
Like at a pretty young age, and I was like, "How are people allowed to make this stuff? It's too scary." But I mean, that's coming from the 6-year-old me who was like, "But I'd also like to make that kind of thing." So, some of the films that I watched that really resonated with me. I was born in the 80s, so I just love that like decadent, kind of over-the-top era, like RoboCop, Predator, Alien, and Aliens were amazing. So I came up with a lot of that kind of horror, sci-fi subgenre films that, I still love today.
Awesome.
I feel like I was introduced, my like favorite director of all time is Brian De Palma, and I think I was introduced to him way too young. I remember seeing Body Double, and I was like, that's really cool. So yeah, like campy horror, which is like, I think naturally exciting for children to watch because there's lots of colors and like flashing lights and things like that. That was like one of the first movies that made me kind of like I would love to like be a part of stuff like this. I want to work with people like this.
Oh, campy horror is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Sleepaway Camp 2 is one of the best campy horror films of all time. But tell me a little bit about The Return.
Sure. So The Return is about a college student whose father passes away, and he goes to deal with his dead father's affairs, and he brings his friend and his girlfriend with him while he's dealing with that. And he discovers that there's this entity in his house, and it turns out that this is something that was also in his life when he was younger. So he sets out to discover why this thing is back and what happened to essentially his whole family. This presence in the house has kind of fractured everything that he's known about his family life. So that's essentially the film right there.
Nice. Echo, how'd you become a part of the project?
I auditioned for the role of Jordan, and I immediately on reading the character breakdown for her, I was like, oh, that's me. I need that. That's mine. I want it so badly. And I thought the project was really fresh and exciting, and we shot in my hometown where BJ and I are from. And so for what was shooting in the city, it's typically not this type of content. And so it was like so exciting to have something like this shooting in our city. So I was just like so excited to even get to audition for it.
Did you guys know each other prior to making The Return?
Yeah, we knew each other. We crossed paths a lot on set. She's involved in a lot of film industry work here, and as well as myself, I do stunts on certain projects, and we definitely had like a good relationship.
Yeah.
But we definitely I would say like The Return is where we got to work together and definitely became friends.
Yes.
So BJ, as the writer and director, where did you come up with the story, and then how does the story morph throughout filming?
So for The Return, the co-writer Ken Janssens, he had the concept for the script. So he came to me and he had the idea of like the haunted house and the time travel twist, and I thought it was great. So I came on and I kind of really helped kind of distill it down to its core elements, played with dialogue, really just trying to tighten it up to work within the budgetary constraints that we had. But on the director's side, definitely what appealed to me is I love that it started as like a really grounded classic haunting, very stripped down score, a ghostly entity that you would maybe tropically identify with, and then things continue to organically evolve. And I love that part, that it really does find itself in a big shift going into the third act, but it's not forced. It's always been part of the narrative. And to me, that was great. Just taking those two genres and like bending them together in a way that, feels relatively coherent. That really appealed to me. So that was something that I really wanted to explore on this film.
And then Echo, what does it feel like preparing to play a character in a film such as The Return?
Well, what was really important, I think, like crucial, I would say, to the development of the character is actually getting to like sit down with Richard and Sarah, because it is so much about the dynamics between those three characters, and like there wouldn't be a Jordan without a Roger counterpart. And so like getting to sit down with those two folks before we started was like essential, and luckily we just like blended right away. Day one was kind of a big day. We shot like some of the stuff that.
For more on the interview, you guys can tune into the 3 Geeks channel tomorrow at 5 p.m. And I'm back. We're back.
Not Dan, though.
Justin and I do not have an actual break built yet. We're working very hard and diligently on that. Steven, if you've got a commercial for your show and you want to send it my way, I will throw it into our commercial break.
I will do that.
How have you been, man? I haven't seen you since the Indiana show, and I know the other guys had you on since then. So how have you been?
You mean pre-pandemic?
Yeah.
So the before times.
Before times.
Yes.
They were good times.
Yes, in the long ago.
Yeah, things have changed a lot, haven't they? It has been a long, hard road, but we're here. We're watching Tuesdays with Maury. Max, you said you like watching movies on Tuesdays with Maury. That's all I heard. You cut out right at
I like watching Maury on Tuesdays.
And Dan wants to see more of the Weasel, which I think is naughty, Dan. I think that you should.
But the Weasel's cool. I mean, come on now. I mean, look at that face.
So in your 90s movies, you're going to do all Pauly Shore movies? Is that your plan?
No.
Need more Weasel.
Oh God.
Biodome, Dan's favorite movie.
In the Army.
How wrong you are, sir.
Doing all right, guys. Podcasting is going forward. We are in a new era of podcasting. You guys are you can't count very well. You're up to 5 geeks on the screen right now.
Yeah, that's our thing. We went to Worthington School.
Yeah.
The math wasn't taught very well there, and we just have problems counting above 3, so we just stopped at 3.
Yeah, that's as high
We've
as
got
we
more.
Go. Don't count shame us.
Don't count my geeks before they're hatched. That is the theme of the evening.
Math shaming.
Who isn't pleasantly surprised by more geeks? Like you said, there's only going to be 3, and then there's like 83. That's fine. That's whatever.
It depends on the circumstances. Just the right amount of geeks sometimes.
There's plenty of rooms that I've walked into and they've gone, nope, that's one too many.
That's the beginning of The Hobbit. Come on.
Yeah.
Steven, tell us about your podcast.
Well, we just relaunched our podcast. We are going into our 8th year on a show called Too Much Scrolling. Go to toomuchscrolling.com and find all of our we lost count on how many episodes we've done. Too much scrolling. We cover a movie of the week and a book of the week and all the pop culture news that you can stand. We paused for a year, just like everybody else did during the pandemic, and we ran something different for the last 12 months. We did a book club called Sandwiches at Irregular Hours. Sandwiches at Irregular Hours. We read through 12 different books and every word of Sherlock Holmes from Arthur Conan Doyle. We had our expert from the University of Connecticut come in and make us a little bit smarter. It didn't take, but she's just brilliant. And trying to make Chip and I smarter, maybe I'm a little smarter.
Well, Stephen, it's perfect that you came in a little early because I know that you're a huge Kevin Smith fan, along with a lot of us. And Clerks 3 has finally started filming. And who wants to bet $1 million that Randall has a heart attack in Clerks 3?
So they can make Clerks 4?
Yeah, I'll take that bet.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to, because that's a pretty much sure thing. So,
Oh, jeez.
I am excited to see Jeff Anderson in this photo because I know him and Kevin had another falling out, but they recently have patched things up to make this movie. Because originally, when Kevin wanted to make Clerks 3, he said no, and now they're back. And I know the whole cast is back. Marilyn is back as 37, and I am excited. I hope we don't get a greatest hits album like we did with Reboot. I thought Reboot was fine for a greatest hits album, but I don't need another greatest hits. Let's make some new music, and then we can do another greatest hits like 20 years down the line.
Well, in order to make new music, you kind of have to ditch your old instruments at times.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's fine. I'm glad he's having a good time with his friends, making these movies again. But I'm personally, whatever. I'll take it or leave it. I didn't enjoy Reboot, and I'm just kind of like, I miss when Kevin Smith was actually kind of doing the weird shit. Like Tusk.
But how weird. Okay, no.
I was one of those few people who enjoyed Tusk.
I love Tusk. Tusk is great.
It's in my top enjoyed Red State. So
I liked Red State too.
Red State was awesome.
Yeah,
I hated Yoga Hosers.
Yoga Hosers.
Yeah.
That was
you
rough.
lost me at Bratzi's.
The Bratzi's was that was a little bit sitting in the theater, in a dark theater, going, really? That's where we've gone in this?
Yeah.
That's Kevin, really?
Like,
but also, I'm just kind of like,
as much
I
as
don't
you've
know.
made. Okay.
Oh no, sorry. He can just, I don't know. I was kind of hoping, I don't know, at one point he'd just branch out and try some other types of movies as well, not just the weird comedic stuff. But
what, like Cop Out?
No, not that. Definitely not that. Like
well,
I said,
not like Cop Out, but like something,
something different.
Like, as much as as much as like he plays the stoner, the Silent Bob and all that stuff. Like, I never actually thought Kevin Smith was a stoner until Yoga Hosers. I was like, okay, now he's smoked too much pot, and he's finding himself way funnier than he actually is.
And the truth is, he wasn't a stoner until then. That's when he started smoking pot. He was an all cigarette kind of guy before that.
Yeah. Seth Rogen tuned him into it.
Yeah, it was the making of what I think is the funniest Kevin Smith movie, Zack and Miri. I know I'm on an island by myself, but that movie makes me laugh from start to finish. But it was during that movie that Kevin Smith became a stoner, and then we got Red State shortly thereafter, and then Tusk. I think Tusk is in the top 5 movies that have scared me. Like, I was watching Match Game, and Justin Long was on there, and I was afraid watching Match Game because I can just still see the picture of the walrus. You can ask Dan and the guys I went to Jersey with for the grand opening of the new Stash. Like, they had a huge life-sized, and I couldn't go anywhere near it. I was petrified.
Oh,
Justin Long does that to a lot of people.
Yes.
Oh.
But Clerks 3, from what I've seen from the behind-the-scenes stuff, it looks like we're getting a more realized film like we did with Clerks 2 and some more of the previous Kevin Smith stuff. It doesn't look like it's going to be chock full of cameos. It looks like we're getting like the basic cast from the original movie with some of the sequel thrown in, and I'm kind of excited. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see Jeff Anderson back because I think Jeff Anderson is the funniest guy in all of the Kevin Smith movies as Randall. I love that character, and so far that character has not done me wrong. So please, part 3, don't do me wrong with the Randall character. That's all I ask, because I'm really looking forward to seeing Jeff do his thing.
I don't disagree with you. Jeff Anderson is amazing. But back to Rosario Dawson for a second. Yeah, somehow they got Rosario Dawson to come back on set to do this some more. She might be my favorite character from the Clerks movies. She's obviously the best actor of the group. She's obviously had such success outside of the View Askew verse. This isn't live. Good, edit that out, Jason.
View Askew universe.
Sure.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Or would it just be View Askew verse?
I don't even know anymore. It's a pandemic, Mac. I don't even know anymore.
Just blame everything on the pandemic.
Absolutely, we've got
can't
years
count past
of blame.
3.
I mean, it's there.
Pandemic.
Yeah.
Pandemic's why we can't count past 3.
The first,
Absolutely.
The first Suicide Squad movie, pandemic.
There you go.
The Suicide Squad, good movie.
After pandemic.
Filmed during the pandemic.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the second Suicide Squad movie. The first one was god awful. Terrible.
Yep, we've been over this.
Yep.
So
will Clerks 3 be as good as Clerks 2?
I hope so, because Clerks 2 is my favorite.
Yeah, Clerks 2 was a happy surprise. Like, I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it as much as I did.
Yeah.
I thought it was too late, and here we are again. Like, I don't know that it's gonna be that great, but I mean, I'm hoping it is. Like that's just it. Like, yeah, I don't see how it can be.
I mean, I'm still going with Mallrats, but
I like
Mallrats
as well.
Awesome.
But
Mallrats is my
anyway,
favorite.
I saw Clerks 3, and I was like, what would be a good topic for the second hour of our show? And I'm like, well, Clerks is a 90s comedy, so let's talk 90s comedies. Because Kevin Smith fits a lot of the bill for 90s comedies, and we'll see if anybody picked any Kevin Smith movies. But the way we do our top 5s is we go through the list. If somebody has something, like if Max says his number 4 is Three Amigos, and then Dan has Three Amigos at number 2, we would hold Three Amigos till we got to Dan's Three Amigos, which we know that, George sucks at movie critiquing.
Also not a 90s movie, but whatever.
Yeah, no, that's why I said it, because I knew it wouldn't be on anybody's list.
Damn it.
But I'm going to start with my top 5, my number 5, and my number 5 is a classic movie from the 90s starring Freddie Prinze Jr. and Rachel E. Cook. It is my guilty pleasure movie that I love, and I still watch to this day, She's All That. I love She's All That. It is... I can't tell you why I like that film so much, but I do. I have it on Blu-ray. I had it on DVD. I had it on VHS. I think I had it on Laserdisc at one point. She's All That. Lovely.
Are you excited for the remake, whatever thing they're doing?
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I have to see it first.
Well, I mean, I think they're in the midst of making the remake or reboot, so that's all I was wondering.
I'm not against remake and reboots, because no matter what happens, I will still have this quality film sitting on my shelf that I can revisit anytime I want, and I do often. And I wasn't a Freddie Prinze Jr. fan until recently when he had his podcast. And so, yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Rachel E. Cook. Let's give Rachel E. Cook some
So
work.
if you like Freddie Prinze Jr., check him out in The Wing Commander, the classic.
Yeah. Oh, what a classic film. Man, that's
Max, what do you have at your number 5?
My number 5, just let me get out my handy dandy notebook and pen here. Notebook and pen guy. Number 5, I'm going with Damon Wayans in Major Pain.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I need to revisit that.
I've loved that movie ever since I was a kid. I just think it's great. It's silly. it's not actually like that great of a film, but I really fucking enjoy it. Just that's one of the classic childhood hilarity.
If we were doing movies, I would say In Living Color is the 90s. The Wayans brothers just doing it and making that next leap from the Saturday Night Live era into the 90s comedy. The Wayans brothers did it right.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the SNL cast, which the SNL cast was very successful in the 90s, and you compare it to the In Living Color cast, everybody on In Living Color during seasons 2 and 3 were superstars when that show ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
with the biggest superstar of the 90s, which was Jim Carrey.
It was it was between that and Blank Man, but I think Major Pain is actually the funnier movie.
Absolutely, Major Pain covers Blank Man.
Dan, what do you got for number 5, Dan?
You just made me nostalgic for Carrie's fireman character.
Yeah.
All right.
Marshall Jim.
For number 5, I've got The Big Lebowski.
Hold
it.
Figures. I figured it was going to be higher on your guys' list, but I thought I'd throw it out there.
Oh, I left Ace Ventura off of my list for obvious reasons. We've talked about it a million times.
Oh, I didn't put it on my list because I was sure it was going to be on yours.
No, I left it off mine because it would have been number 1, and everybody knows that already. Steven, what is your number 5?
My number 5, since we are going from the bottom of the list up, is Friday, the classic 1995, the introduction of Chris Tucker, and the fact that we know that Ice Cube can act. Boy, did Friday influence my 1990s.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Friday was good. Friday, the original Friday is the best of the Friday series, and that is a classic movie. I love that movie.
Not only could Ice Cube carry the movie, but he also wrote the film too. And that was his first film that he wrote, right? Because he didn't write Boys in the Hood. I'm pretty sure Friday was Ice Cube's first attempt at making a feature, but
I'm not sure.
The man can write.
That one was good. He should have stayed broke, so that he could write more good movies. Because, you could tell the richer he got, the worse his movies got. Because, he's
not talking about Kevin Smith.
Are We There Yet is a classic.
Oh yeah.
How dare he?
Are we there yet? 2. No, how dare him? I'm just saying, it's that was a really good movie, and he was not very rich at the time.
Millionaire blues singers don't really succeed. Yeah.
All I'm saying is I like Ice Cube's angry guy role that he has in a lot of the newer movies, like in the Jump Street series. I really liked him in that, and I liked him in Fist Fight, even though that movie was garbage. But Mike, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Galaxy Quest.
Oh, you're gonna have to pause on that. That's definitely higher than 5, my friend.
All right, I'll hang on to it.
Yeah, hang on to that one.
You got it.
My number 4, and I really struggled because I was like, I need to put an Adam Sandler movie on there. There's 3 from the 90s that I absolutely love. And I was going to go Billy Madison was on my list until about 2 hours ago. And I'm like, if I'm honest with myself.
You watched it?
Then I watched it, yeah.
If I'm honest with myself, the movie of his that I go back to more often is Wedding Singer. And as most people know, I'm not a Drew Barrymore fan. So the fact that this movie is good, in spite of Drew Barrymore being in it, really says a lot. I find this movie charming. And I think Adam and Drew Barrymore have some of the best chemistry in Hollywood with each other. So, my number 4 is Wedding Singer. Because I think it's probably Adam Sandler's actually... What's that?
At least Adam Sandler-y.
I thought that was made in the 2000s. I'm fucking old.
I'm pretty sure it's 99.
Do a quick Google search.
It's squeaked in there as a 90s comedy, but it is much more of a 2000s vibe. I agree with you on that.
Hold on, I'm trying to fact check myself. Yeah, 98.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I mean, the best Adam Sandler movie is Happy Gilmore, hands down.
Yeah. I agree.
That's a good one too. It was on my list. The Big Daddy was another one, but I think Big Daddy was 2000.
My list was all Adam Sandler films until 2 hours ago.
It was not. I was only choosing one.
All right. So, what did you say? Wedding Singer?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed that one too. That was a good one. I like his friend in the Michael Jackson coat. I like that guy in that movie.
The guy that's in all of his movies.
Yeah. He doesn't have a name. He's the guy in the Adam Sandler movies.
He's the guy from Grandma's Boy.
Oh, jeez.
I swear to God, Max, if that's somewhere in this list.
No, it's not. It's not. I love it, but it's not.
His name's Alan Covert.
No, it's not.
He's very covert.
His name is the guy in the Adam Sandler
Yep.
movies. That's
Like the guy that sang with George Michael and Wham, whose name we will never know.
Who are they? Wham.
Wham! An exclamation point there.
All right, is it Max's
All right.
turn for number
Max?
4?
All right. Whose turn?
Yours.
Yours.
All right, number 4 is gonna go to Office Space.
Oh, I completely forgot Office Space. Yes, that is very good.
I've never seen Office
yeah.
Space.
Oh my God, JT.
Wow.
Really? You know who I love in Office Space? Fucking Dietrich Bader as the neighbor.
Hey,
He
Peter.
is
Yeah.
fucking great in that movie.
Turn on channel 12.
Breast exam.
Yes. Yes. Like, you know, the movie is great. You know, there's the classic changing lanes, and then it always gets worse every time you change.
Yeah.
Office Space, definitely one of, I think, the best comedies coming out of it.
Also, to go with that, Gary Cole is so
Yes.
dry and so underplaying everything that it's like I hate this guy, but I also kind of love him.
Not
Is
to
Office
confuse with
Space a
Gary
man
Cole.
card movie? I don't think Office Space is a man card movie. I get it. I need to see it. I want to see it. I liked Idiocracy, which we're living now, and I liked Extract. So I need
card. What?
Office Space is like a working Joe kind of movie. Like you got to see it if you've ever had like that kind of job.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a man card movie.
Right.
It's not like Rambo.
It's definitely desk job movie. Like,
Yeah,
if you've ever
yeah.
worked a desk job, you're like, yep, I get this.
You will
That's
understand this
Terminator.
movie.
Yeah. George, go not watch Three Amigos and calm down over there.
Not watch
I've
Three Amigos.
never I've never had a desk job, but like if you've ever worked a job that you absolutely hated, then you will be able to take something away from this movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll show you pieces of flair. My turn?
Jennifer
Yeah.
Aniston's in this movie?
For my number 4, I'm doing Three Amigos. No. I'm doing South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut.
Ooh, leave it.
Because for my
Leave
list,
it.
yep, that's
Leave
fine.
it.
That's fine. I'm explaining stuff, Max, and it's not about the movie.
Okay.
So just
Okay.
yeah. Okay. For my list, like I had to do comedies that I could put in at any given time and watch whatever. And that is definitely one of them. Anyway,
Yep.
Absolutely.
So if we're going with movies that I've watched over and over and over again since the 90s, I have to go with Army of Darkness in the 4th slot.
nice.
That
Nice.
is one of those movies that I will watch from beginning to end probably once a year. There's just something about Bruce
Mhm.
Campbell, his charisma. He is the Han Solo that Harrison Ford isn't. Harrison Ford has no charisma. Like you see an interview with Harrison Ford, you go, why do I love this man's character so much? This guy is a wet sponge. Bruce Campbell, I will talk to Bruce Campbell any day, anytime. I will listen to him talk. I will stare at him and in wonderment at how he can be so charismatic. Army of Darkness is definitely on my top 5.
That's a good one.
I've watched Army of Darkness like a few times, and I didn't realize it was connected to Evil Dead because I don't like horror movies. But the first time I saw any of the Evil Dead movies, I was very taken aback because they are not similar.
No.
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2 is similar.
Yeah,
It's also
that's
got the
funny as
horror
hell.
in it.
there's just something about
yeah.
the idea of this guy just going around and being, you talk about man card. Army of Darkness might be on that man card list.
I gotta say, did you watch Ash vs. Evil
Hail to the
Dead?
King, baby.
I have watched every second of Ash versus Evil Dead. It is phenomenal. If
Oh
you
my God.
like that comedy, if you like that action, if you like the and thing about Max, if you don't like horror, if you don't like gore, watch Ash versus Evil Dead because they take the gore and make it ridiculous, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah, there's an episode with on a autopsy table with
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell and a dead body, and it is
Uh-huh.
the funniest thing of the last 10 years that I ever saw on TV. It's one of those things that you never expect to ever see, but you just saw it, and you're like, I never expected to see that, but that was great.
It is such a Three Stooges gross out moment. It is a 21st century Three Stooges moment, and it just sticks with you, unfortunately.
All right, noted. I'll just pre-dial. I'll dial up my therapist and then give it a watch.
Mike, what is your number 4?
My number 4 was 1995's Empire Records.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, basically, and don't get me wrong, I love Clerks and so forth, but this was more my Clerks than it, because it's just day in the life of these record store employees. It's actually got a soundtrack that I enjoy. Yep, Rex Manning Day. That's an underappreciated performance from him. Anthony LaPaglia is really great in it. And honestly, like, one of my first like teen comedy crushes was Reese Witherspoon. So I like her in this movie quite a bit. And everyone's really great in it. Rory Cochrane, Ethan Embry, when he's watching Guar on the TV, he's like, "No, you could be in the band." It's like, so great.
Yeah. Guar.
That's awesome. That's my list to watch right now because I've never seen it. But my number 3, and I think that this movie is superior to the first one in every way. I like the first film a lot, but this sequel is one that just, they go for it. Like 227%. Mike Myers and Dana Carvey really are just great in this movie, and I'm talking about Wayne's World 2. Like, I love this movie. I think it's one of the best comedy sequels from the 90s, and it's just because you feel like you're getting just 455% of Mike Myers and Dana Carvey in this movie. Like, they're giving it their all. You've got Christopher Walken added to the mix in this, and you've got an amazing kung fu scene in the middle of the movie that's like random. And I just recently watched The Graduate, so I completely understand the ending now. So Wayne's World 2 is, I think, so underrated. I love it.
I would so argue that, but I'm going to let it pass.
Jason.
I like the first one. I think the first one's great. I just really like the ridiculousness of the second one.
No.
Oof. I don't know if Jason gets the...
Look at Mike's face this time. He's just like, it's fine.
You guys duke it out for yourselves. It's all good.
Just no taste. We're good. Max?
You sure you got nothing else to say about Wayne's World 2 being better than Wayne's World 1, Dan? Anything?
No, not at all. It is a great film. I especially like when the ghost of Jim Morrison comes in and then starts talking about he's got responsibilities, because that's exactly what Jim Morrison.
All right, Dan is now.
All right. My number 3 is going to go to Half Baked with Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
That's a good one.
It's a classic stoner movie. I love it. I love Dave Chappelle, and it's just a lot of good fun. It's highly quotable. It's definitely one of the movies I can just pop in right now and watch anytime.
That's not a bad one. I think that one's great. Dave Chappelle, Jim Brewer.
Huh?
Yeah, Jim Brewer is great in this one. The guy on the couch is awesome. I like Cuban B. Cuban B is great in this movie. No, it's just a lot of fun. Who's the one that goes to jail? What's that guy's name?
He's like in everything.
In the movie, but I can't remember the actor's name. It's great. Tommy Lee, not Tommy Lee. Fucking
Tommy Chong.
That'd be awesome if it was
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. No, Tommy Chong is great. This he has a great cameo in this one. Squirrel Master. No, I love it.
It's Harlan Williams is the guy's name.
Harlan Williams. Okay,
Yes.
I'll take a Harlan. I'll give you a Harlan Williams, but Jim Brewer. I'm sorry, Jim Brewer is a one-note comedy. No, thank you.
Yeah, but it works here. His one note is excellent here.
Yeah,
he's like that beardy guy that's in everything now. Yeah.
That beardy guy?
Yeah, the beardy guy.
No, yeah, everybody knows that.
It's like, hey, he's in that movie, and he's in this movie. He's in every movie.
Dan?
My number 3 is Mars Attacks.
Oh, I love it.
All
I
right.
forgot about it.
All right.
Wow.
Solid.
That is good.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I understand that it got panned and everything, but it's fucking great to me. It even has the Attack of the Killer Tomatoes ending.
Yeah, it's a good one, and the cast in that movie is spectacular, and the people they choose to kill off throughout this movie is fantastic.
I love the we still have 2 of 3 parts of government, so
yeah. Jack Nicholson as the president was fantastic.
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson is multiple people.
Yeah. And then Michael J. Fox shows up for like a minute. That's the whole reason I went to Mars Attacks, was because of Michael J. Fox, and he's only in it for like
he's in it for like 5 minutes.
It's like Steven Seagal in Executive Decision.
Plus, you get oh god, I'm horrible at names today, guys. I don't know what the hell's going on. You get the singing guy in there.
Singing guy. Does he have a beard?
Tom Jones. Yeah, just playing Tom Jones for some reason.
Well, he's singing out in nature because they got away with it.
I mean, it makes sense that he's in Vegas, but still, I mean, they just got Tom Jones to play Tom Jones.
I mean, listen to this cast: Jack Nicholson, Pierce Brosnan, Glenn Close, Natalie Portman, Annette Bening, Sarah Jessica Parker, Michael J. Fox, Danny DeVito, and Martin Short. Even though Martin Short, I could take or leave.
Yeah,
he was good in this. Like, I like that he was just the scuzzy, like press secretary picking up women all the time, and that bites him literally later.
I think you know about Plan 9 from Outer Space to enjoy Mars Attacks. I think you need to be in that genre in order to enjoy it. All the superstars, you're right. There's a lot of great names in there, but it's not a great movie just because of a bunch of great names.
No, and it doesn't have Tor Johnson. I mean,
time for Go To Bed.
That would time for Go To Bed.
Well, also like
it's the best line ever.
I feel it's one of Tim Burton's more cynical movies without having like a sugar-coated ending at the end. Like everything is just dark in that movie, which is fine. I love it.
I love that the people just keep trying to be friends with the Martians.
Yeah, and it never. Well, because it's based off of a trading card series where it's just like, let's make these Martians do horrible things to people. It's like, how do you make a happy ending with that?
You don't see movies like that, like I don't know.
No, you don't. That's a good pick, Dan. It would have been on my list if I had thought about it for sure.
If you didn't have to have 3 Adam Sandler movies on there, then
until about 2 hours ago.
Yes, you watched them all on fast forward.
It's my pick, Dan. It's my pick in my heart.
Thank you. Oh.
All right, time for Mike to shine, because my number 3 is going to be Galaxy Quest. Not because it is the 3rd best movie on my list, but because of reasons that will come up in numbers 1 and 2. Galaxy Quest may very well be the best comedy of the 1990s. The late 1900s had so many great comedies, but Galaxy Quest, God, somehow came together into this perfect comedy that stands the test of time so well.
I love Galaxy Quest. Sigourney Weaver obviously it's great, whereas she gets to play a character. It's like you see her in Alien and she's just like hyper badass, and then like you see her in Galaxy Quest and she's like, all I do is say what the computer says, and it's just like a little blonde bombshell. But I love Galaxy Quest. It's one of my favorite movies. It made my honorable mentions because I knew it would be on other people's lists. But I love Galaxy Quest.
It's a great commentary, and I feel still works with regards to like fandom overall and how people connect with fandom. That makes it like hilarious, but also like, really dramatic too. And also, I will say it's the one of 2 times that I like Tim Allen in anything. The other being Buzz Lightyear. Yep. Okay. This is the one role that I, aside from that one, that I really think like, okay, I see what he's doing. He's being somewhat Shatnery in both the realm of the show, but also within the realm of like the meta commentary. Like, I get this, and I enjoy this. And like it's got two moments that make me laugh and cry at the same time. Grabthar's hammer, of course, has its full like journey there, but then also when he has to reveal when he has to reveal to I can't remember the actor's name, but Mathazar, like it's all fake, like it's actually soul crushing, but it's also hilarious because he's just like, why? Like, I'm laughing and I'm crying at this. What the hell?
And there's my mother chiming in. Yes, this is my mother's favorite movie. She loves this movie, and she hates movies, and she loves this movie.
Hi, Mom.
It's so perfect. This movie has a beginning, a middle, and end. You have this character arc for every character somehow, and Rainn Wilson. Like how much more perfect can this movie get?
Yep.
And freaking
Justin Long.
What's the guy's name?
Freaking Justin Long as Tusk.
The guy who was in Moon.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell.
Yes.
Guy.
Yes. I love Sam Rockwell.
Yes,
Guy. Like freaking and like you're saying about like the fandom and like how the people relate to. It's like, hey, like this is all I've got. You know, he's like, I played the guy, you know, number 7, and
I don't even have a last name.
Anything else in my life? Yeah, like,
and that goes throughout the whole.
Man,
like, we have to get off this planet before those critters eat Guy.
Uh-huh.
I love that.
The writing on that is expert. The editing is expert. The documentary that goes into how that movie got made, it's a freaking miracle that movie exists. Sigourney Weaver asked to be a part of this. She wanted to be that part that was not Ripley, and she did it so well.
Oh yeah, no, Alan Rickman in this movie. I mean, because no one does disdain like Alan Rickman.
Absolutely.
And it's it's great. I love it, and you know, like you're saying, those moments, like when the dude is dying and Alan Rickman like gives him the send off. He's like, "By crap, like I will avenge you," and like, but he means it. Like, and then he goes nuts on those dudes. Like, yeah, no, it was great. It was great. I love Galaxy.
Yes, Galaxy Quest is great. I have nothing to add because I like Tim Allen's 90s movies, but Galaxy Quest is definitely on the top.
Mike, what's your number 3?
Okay, well, speaking of Alan Rickman and earlier Kevin Smith, Dogma.
Yep. Ooh, good movie.
Do I need to hold on this, or can we just proceed?
No.
Okay, cool.
Despite the fact that is my favorite View Askew film, I did not put it on my top 5 comedies because I don't see that one as a comedy. I think that is Kevin Smith's masterpiece. I think it is the perfect mix of drama, comedy, philosophy, honest, real humanity.
Mm-hmm. It's him actually processing between that and Chasing Amy. It's actually like him actually processing legitimate things he's probably questioning himself about in his life. It's like, but yeah, no, I like it a lot.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh no, go ahead, Max. Sorry.
Chris Rock is the 13th Apostle. I think is the funniest shit ever. Like that is like the greatest concept to me. Is like, of course they leave off the Black Apostle. Like that's we got Rufus, the 13th Apostle. I love Kevin Smith for that character, and I love that Chris Rock pulls it off perfectly.
And like this is also the signifier of the end of how much I really do enjoy Jay and Silent Bob, because it's just they're out of their depth. Like that's the comedy of it. They're just these bums along for the ride on this grand biblical literally adventure, and you know they're just making the most of it. But everyone I feel really delivers in that movie really well. Like Ben Affleck, I feel that's actually one of his better performances from around that era is like, in that
ever.
Yeah, pretty much.
In anything.
I agree with a lot of that.
I say again, that is Kevin Smith's masterpiece. That is the best Kevin Smith film, and I enjoy a lot of Kevin Smith films except Tusk. But I think that is where he's at his best. He's being the most honest with himself, and he's telling this story that is deep inside of him. And everybody gives a great performance. There's so many pieces that come together in that story, and it's one of my favorite films for sure.
And I also love the marketing of it too. I love the market where he picketed his own movie with all the Catholics who were going to take offense to it and not even watch it. And he showed up on the news. Like, that is some next level trolling that actually like pays off really well.
Yes, Dogma. It's very Wizard of Oz like as well because they're going on the journey and they're collecting, more people as they go and getting to the end. I love it too. There's an argument to be made there. Chasing Amy is my favorite View Askew movie, but Dogma is pretty close to it.
Chasing Amy doesn't have the comedy that to keep me going along like Dogma does. Chasing Amy is just more of a straightforward movie. Dogma I think does it.
I feel performance-wise and dialogue-wise, they're on equal footing. Chasing Amy, out of the two of them, is the one that really hasn't aged well, just because it's kind of like, well, you're not really talking about this. You're talking about a bisexual person, which is not the same thing. So it's kind of, with age, it's not really held up as well as Dogma, which is like, again, as you mentioned, Steve, it's like it's
George Carlin.
George Carlin.
George Carlin.
Christ.
Yes. Totally believable, totally playing, who George Carlin, the character, has been throughout his career. That Catholic boy who has maybe changed his mind about this idea of dogma. And it's beautiful. It is so well put together. I've got a Buddy Christ sitting right over there. I should go get that.
So when I made my list, I was trying to find movies that I could pop on at any time like Dan, and ones I didn't think anybody would talk about. My number 2 is So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Okay. Harriet. Sweet Harriet.
Yeah. Heed. You
got a lot of Mike Myers on your
I like Mike Myers. I have never seen The Love Guru. I avoided it for many reasons. Because I want to keep that image. And I haven't seen Cat in the Hat either. Because I want to keep the image.
Yes. Go see Cat in the Hat.
But,
oh my.
So I Married an Axe Murderer. I love it. Like, Mike Myers doesn't look like a guy who would be funny. But he is extremely funny, I think. And
he's hilarious.
I think.
So why does that one go on your list above Austin Powers?
It's more of a cohesive story. And plus, I don't know. I like the story a little bit more. I'm a big fan of romantic movies, Steve. So that might be part of the reason I like this a bit more. But no, just the whole scene with the dad and the younger kid and him yelling at him to move his head. Like, I just find that to be one of the funniest things in the world. And my son has a pretty big head too. So it's a movie we watched together and enjoyed. He laughs at it as well.
All right.
The scene where Mike Myers is playing multiple characters, I love it. Yeah, that's just like good stuff. It all works. Now, So I Married an Axe Murderer, I think, is one of the it kind of gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
Because of Austin Powers and Shrek and all all the other great things that he's done, but it's below the radar. I like that one.
Chris Farley was originally the voice of Shrek, and they redid all the
that's
audio.
why I don't like Mike Myers. You got right to the heart of it. I do not like Shrek because that movie should have been Chris Farley. That movie would have been completely different. The animation is a picture of Chris Farley with stupid Mike Myers' stupid Scottish voice, and I don't like it.
Well, the studio changed it. It's not Mike's fault that he was brought in to redo it, but I do want to see that edit.
It's mostly Farley's fault that Mike had to come in.
I blame Farley.
I love Farley. I completely forgot to put any of the movies on here, but Farley and Spade were great together.
Oh,
so good. Yeah, I just love when he comes back to the car and he rips the door off. And it's like, what'd you do?
Yes, Tommy Boy is definitely on my longer list, not my top 5, but definitely in my top 10.
Yeah. We'll never see what happened because I know that him and Spade had signed a deal to make 2 more movies together before he died, and Spade's career went a completely different way when Farley was lost to us. But
love that movie.
Makes me sad.
Well, bring us back up, Max.
Yeah, Max, come on.
All right, here we go. Number 2, Dan, South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. I love the South Park guys. Like they just made this this fucking movie, and it's still watchable and it's still relevant. And yeah, I really dig it. The musical numbers are all awesome. Blame Canada. It's like why?
Dude, I think. I was gonna say, I think it's the hardest I ever laughed in a movie theater the first time I saw it. I went with Tam and Fuzzy. Maybe you were there too, Max. But I literally
no, I wasn't allowed to see this movie for the longest time.
Oh. Yeah, we bought a ticket to another movie, Max. I literally crawled out of my seat when they were singing Uncle Fucker. Like that moment that comes on the screen, the movie law. I didn't stop. I had to see it 4 or 5 other times because I missed so much. And I still catch new things now. Those guys, I think those guys are brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, like all the stuff with Satan and Saddam Hussein, and I mean, just like I don't even understand where these dudes thought of this shit, but I love it.
I think they're some of the smartest writers making movies right now and TV shows. I think their level of intelligence, that where they come up with this stuff, is amazing to me. Team America, which is not a 90s movie, brilliant commentary on everything. And if we're going to go with Trey Parker and Matt Stone, I would go with Basketball over South Park.
That's good too.
I went the other way.
That's Zucker Brothers.
I can't.
I love it. I love that kind of comedy.
Recently, and it's good. Like it's still funny. Like it makes me laugh. Like, but no, South Park it just gets more laughs, even though I know the joke is coming. Like I gotta give it to South Park.
This is one of those movies that I can watch over and over whenever, and it doesn't stop being funny to me. Like I love that they made a musical out of it.
Mm-hmm.
This made me go back and watch Cannibal the musical.
This is how they won a Tony, was they made musicals, and they got to the point where they were making Broadway musicals and doing it in a brilliant way.
What's brilliant about these guys?
I do want to see the Book of Mormon. I haven't seen that yet.
Me too, Max. What's brilliant about these guys is I watched the episode where they explain Mormonism again, and I watched the vaccination special. I don't know if you guys saw the latest vaccination thing. That was these guys, like, they don't just make fun of something. They use the words in like the religion of Mormonism and present that to you. So you can laugh at it or not, but what they're telling you is exactly word for word what is within, the religious doctrines and so forth. And Scientology was another good episode they did. These guys
I like the fact. Homework. I love the fact when they go through the mythology, or you wouldn't call it mythology, but whatever. I would, but they wouldn't. They flash on the bottom of the screen that this is what Scientologists really think.
It's like, oh, does that sound a bit ridiculous to you? Because this is what they actually think.
Yeah.
No, it's great. South Park, the movie. I wanted to do another South Park movie. I like, they obviously did not gone back to it, but
they got a deal. They got $1 million.
Yeah.
They got $900 million to make 14 more movies, Max.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Good. Like, they're hilarious. I love
them. For Paramount Plus, though.
Oh, damn.
We have Paramount Plus, Max.
Do we?
South Park is kind of a low budget show.
You don't need that.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine.
What got me is like, they're talking about making South Park, and it's like, we're using the computers that they used to make Jurassic Park, except to make South Park, and it's like, it's way more than we need, but here we are. Like,
well, that's why they're always so fresh too, is because they literally like up to the deadline that they need to air the show, they're still working on it. Like they only prep the episode like a week before it's supposed to air, really.
Yeah.
So that's why they're always still relevant.
And they got a couple days for all the lines. So
right. Oh, that's craziness. Those guys are awesome. All right. So that was my number 2 to bring everybody back up. South Park, bigger, longer, not got.
I realized during the number 3s that I really left some things out, so I'm going to cheat. So sorry. My 2.5 is Mystery Science Theater the movie.
That's
which is the most I have ever laughed in a theater.
Give Uncle Scrotor a hug.
Yeah. I have a refreshing mint flavor. You know, like, they did that so well. The Dr. Jemima like sequence is my favorite thing I've probably ever seen. My number 2 is Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Wow, that's digging deep. You're going to go with Zucker Brothers and you're going to go Dracula Dead and Loving It?
I got to go with Leslie Nielsen in that one. And I just blew my mind looking this up to figure out who played Renfield, because that part is freaking great in this movie. And then I realized Peter McNichol not only played the guy in Ghostbusters 2, which I already knew, but he played Galen in Dragon Slayer.
Wow. Peter McNichol is he was an Ally McBeal too. I love that guy.
But
he is Vigo. That's the guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But his portrayal of Renfield in that, I just love that, the whole thing. He's just like eating bugs off the table.
Yeah. Oh dear God! What are you doing to all the furniture?
And I know it has an 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, but I still love that movie.
We did a in-depth analysis of the original Dracula during our 12-month book club, and Dracula is a pretty amazing piece of writing that has been used for so many different things for so long, and that is an example of it being used.
Yes, it is. But it's also the closest Dracula to the first Universal film, I think. But yeah,
is that a good thing? I don't know.
And
I'll go with the Hungarians. I mean, I'm all right with the idea of the Dracula accent being my people. I get that, but I don't say blah blah blah.
No. Well, that's just the Count from Sesame Street. I mean, but the whole
to put a pimp on there.
The whole scene in the movie when he's dreaming and he's like, Renfield, look, I'm eating vine here. I'm drinking vine and eating chicken.
I haven't seen Dracula Dead and Loving in a long time. I'm gonna go back and revisit it.
Now I gotta revisit it. Thanks, Dan.
After Dan's,
you are quite welcome.
I love
also watch Mystery Science Theater the movie. It's fucking brilliant.
This Island Earth is awesome. Yeah. What kind of shithole planet is this?
Normal view.
They had to slow it down to make it for the riffing for the theaters, but it's such a good pace through the whole movie, and it's a long par 5 up to the nation's capital.
I can see the Cubs losing. Anyway, that is my number 1. You've previewed my number 1 because boy, I got to tell you, I was not a fan of Mystery Science Theater until that movie.
Really?
Because I didn't have cable. I grew up without cable, and I did not have access. I didn't know that this show existed until my friend Steve brought me to movie theater one night and said, "You are gonna like this." And boy, he cost me thousands of dollars. I have spent more on Mystery Science Theater than on any other property ever, and had all of those guys on Too Much Scrolling. I've talked to every single cast member. And I love them, and I watched one on Friday. They just did a live thing on Friday. They're doing a summer of they're calling it the mindless summer, and just watching movies together. And I look forward to the new season coming to the new Gizmoplex. Their whole new self-sustaining system where we can watch these movies some more, because that's all I do is watch Mystery Science Theater. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with my number 2 then, which it pains me to say my number 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time, and that's where I put Clerks, 1994 Clerks. This movie, I swear to you, it is somehow Kevin Smith figured out the zeitgeist of the 1990s and put it on film. The story of Kevin Smith, the idea of Kevin Smith couldn't possibly be true. You couldn't actually decide while living in New Jersey in a small town, working in a video store, to make yourself a movie, to find the money, selling your comic book collection, to fund this stupid little movie that you don't even have the money to make it color, so you make it black and white because it's cheaper, and then make a multi-million-dollar career out of these characters. The dialogue of Kevin Smith's brain is fascinating to me. I will watch the Masters of the Universe Revelation because I know Kevin Smith's fingers put his words into the mouths of these characters. The dialogue that Kevin Smith is able to create is phenomenal. I'm not a big fan of just his monologues where he's talking by himself, because boy, does he have a lot of words. But when he can write, any day of the week.
And to those actors' credits too, like you were mentioning Jeff Anderson earlier, Jason, like they hold on them for like one master shot, and they have a whole exchange like committed to memory in one take, and it flows naturally. It like really works well, and it's still funny. It's like, yeah.
Clerks was like the first black and white movie that I watched on purpose, like by myself.
On purpose?
And well, they show you some in school, like you'll see a black and white movie in school or whatever, and like or freaking 12 Angry Men or something like that, and it's black and white, and yeah, I didn't really appreciate black and white, but I was like, and I was probably like, I don't know, 13 or 14 when I watched Clerks the first time. Like, and I chose to watch it, and I was like, oh, there's everyone's cussing up a storm, and I was like, holy shit, this fucking movie is like, this is what's up. And then it's great. It's a great little piece of like that. Like you said, it captures everything about that time and that place.
And as my mother points out, I was in the video store at the time when Clerks was released. And yes, it captures everything about my life in the video store. I loved that job. I loved having those conversations. I loved seeing those people, meeting those friends that I made as a result of being able to talk about movies. It really is the basis of podcasting. Think about this for a second. The video store was the place where we went to talk about geeky stuff. And then they closed the video store, and I went and got a straight job and started a podcast instead.
That's true. I think when we have guests on, we should. I think when we have guests on, we should always have their mothers.
Yes, I am enjoying your mom's commentary. Thank you.
100%.
My mom can't watch my show because of cussing.
I agree with this.
I love you. I'm not listening to your filthy mouth.
Anything more about Clerks? I mean, did we say it all?
I think so. But yeah.
It's a great film.
And it has a song about Wookiees.
I enjoy it.
That is true.
Yes.
On my Spotify in tight rotation. Thank you very much.
Nice.
I am curious, Steve. I am curious. What did you think of him changing the ending to the Clerks?
Again, speaking of somebody who worked retail at the end, I didn't really want to see the tragic end of the retailer. Please leave me with a happy ending in my job and my profession. Now that I'm a school teacher, I don't like movies that end poorly for teachers either. So yes, give me more of that.
1999.
Mm-hmm. Give me more of that for sure.
I've always just wondered too, like whatever inspired him to do that. Like I always thought before I knew about that ending, like it was just like, oh well, just another day in the life of a clerk. It just life goes on. And then I heard about the original ending, and I'm like, oh my god, what inspired him to want to come up with that ending originally?
It's a real fear of a retailer. It is a real fear of a convenience store specifically. The idea that you are putting yourself at risk for what? What is the purpose of this job? And that was the theme of the movie, and I could see where he went with it, but no, thank you.
It might have been a little too much, yeah.
Even Clerks 3, where they're still happy to do the job in their own special way.
Oh, don't say that now, because now you know for sure that ending's working into Clerks 3 somehow.
Yeah.
Ooh. But now it'll be like a Michael Bay experience.
The burger joint just blows up.
Mike, what is your number 2?
Oh, okay. It's my number 2 for me is The Birdcage. I'm really
all right. That's a good one.
French film.
I like this. Well, based off of the
or the Michael Caine one.
No,
My cocaine.
No, the Robin Williams, Nathan Lane one.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yes, Robin Williams all day.
But I like this one a lot because I grew up with this movie in, I think it was around like 6th grade or middle school when I first saw it, and even then, I loved how much I could laugh along with the characters and laugh at the characters, but still, like, there's this sense of heart to it that's really, even then when I was younger, like, it really moved me. Like, oh my gosh, these two really do love each other, even if they give each other shit all the time. I love that it was Robin Williams, like, restrained, like he, for lack of a better term. He's the straight man in the couple dynamic, and Nathan Lane is the one who's like chewing scenery. But it works. Like it shows off another dimension to Robin Williams' comedy, is that he can be funny even when he's like having to rein it in a little bit more, and he's having to be more conservative with his acting choices. And speaking of conservative, like, I love Gene Hackman's role in that movie. Just playing the most dipshit Ohio politician you can have. And he's just flabbergasted about this culture he has no clue about. And it's hilarious when the one scene where he's trying to like talk about the trip to Miami. And he's like, we got to watch the leaves turn some fall colors, orange, gold, red, and you just see everyone else in the room just be like constantly like just losing attention span, and it's a brilliant, like, underplayed performance from him and from everybody, really. And yeah, Nathan Lane, he breaks your heart, but also he's like, man, tone it down a little, but at the same time you don't want him to tone it down because it's awesome. So
the Birdcage is great. I completely forgot about that movie. That is a really good flick. Like that's a good pick. I like that.
His Robin Williams' history of dance sequence there, where he's like going through all the famous names, is like Martha Graham, and Fosse, but you keep it all inside. Like, it's a great line. It's like, show all that, but you keep it inside. So good.
I had several Robin Williams movies on my top 20 list. If we were doing a top 6 instead of top 5, Mrs. Doubtfire would be my number 6, because that
I actually watched that the other day.
Yeah,
that is a wonderful film that holds up very well, about relationships, about this wacky dad, and as many cameras as they could fit into the studio to capture whatever they could from Robin Williams. I love the story of how they made Mork and Mindy. They just had to bring more cameras in just in case he did something, and that was Mrs. Doubtfire for me. Like, just in case he does the whole montage of voices when he's trying to get a job. Like, that's just, okay, Robin, go, and they all sit back and just watch for an hour.
I remember. Yeah, he revolutionized sitcoms in that sense too. It's like, okay, we know we need this extra coverage now. It's like, here we go.
Yeah, when he went in for Happy Days, the first appearance of Mork on Happy Days, the entire sequences with him were improv. It was driving them nuts because they had never worked with a guy like that would never do the same thing. So there's like all these outtakes from Happy Days with Robin Williams that I would love to see, because he did it different every single time.
Yeah, that dude that dude was a rare talent, just because I mean, like, he's hilarious. But then, like, you know, that at the end of Mrs. Doubtfire, when he's giving the speech to the judge, he's like, "Don't take my kids." Like, you want to cry. Like, it is. Yeah, no, he was excellent. He was just excellent.
And to translate that to the Birdcage too, like he has some moments where he gets to like really show off the eccentric side that we're used to, but then when he has to play like vulnerable, like it's heartbreaking that he has to like basically say like, I can't believe my own kid is ashamed of me. And so like you feel that gut punch. It's like, oh man.
Absolutely. So
Birdcage is a good pick. I completely forgot about the movie. That's a great pick.
So number one. Now that as we go around, I want to say if you guys are watching, and George, I would love to hear what your top 5 is. Please drop it in the comment section below. You know, so thinking of my number one, you know, there's so many great 90s comedies like High School High with John Lovitz or Mr. Destiny with Jim Belushi. You got to really think.
Rock and Roll High School Forever.
Yes, and Another Stakeout with Emilio Estevez and
PCU.
Yes.
Richard Dreyfuss. So talking about Richard Dreyfuss for a second as we go into my number one.
Men in Tights, I'm just throwing it out there.
Number one comedies of the 90s. The chemistry Richard Dreyfuss and Bill Murray have in this movie is absolutely phenomenal. The straight man versus the insane guy. And this movie, I saw it in theaters with my dad. And ever since then, this is one of those I could pop on anytime because I think Bill Murray is a genius in most of his films, especially in this one. And that's What About Bob?
What About Bob? Okay. I didn't understand this movie the first time I watched it. It's one of those where it wasn't like I didn't think it was that good when I first watched it, and then I watched it later when I was a little older, and it was fucking hilarious.
I think that's the key. Is I think I was the wrong stage in life for What About Bob. I admire the heck out of Bill Murray. I think Bill Murray is the secular saint, the one character in my life that I want to meet Bill Murray. I've called his 800 number and left a message to see if he would possibly call me back and have a conversation. He is such an interesting, mindful character. That's his big thing, is staying in the moment. And What About Bob is all about what are we doing? Where are we? Who are we? Why are we doing this? Staying in the moment. I didn't get it as a kid, but I bet I would really admire it at this point.
It's funny because, you know, Bill Murray is the one that's crazy at the beginning, and you get to see him gradually with the things of Dr. Leo Marvin's Family. You get to see him become more sane. And you get to see the Richard Dreyfuss character become insane because of all of the crazy antics that Bob is doing to him. And I think Dreyfuss plays this so well. I don't know how you can stay that straight and that, like, just he never breaks that at all in this. And yeah, the movie is fantastic. I think so. Number one for me.
Yeah, but that's
isn't Macaulay Culkin in that one too?
No,
no, Uncle Buck. I'm thinking of Uncle Buck.
Yeah, it's got the kid from Hook in it. It's got the little boy from Hook.
Oh, okay. That's
shit.
why.
I just remember Dutch.
Dutch.
Oh, number one comedy.
No, but I hadn't thought about that for like 20 years, so I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I joke. I am one of John Lovitz's I'm a big fan of John Lovitz, but none of his movies could get. I could not come up with an excuse to get any of them into the top 5 at all.
All right, are we putting George's top 5 up here?
Oh God.
There's George's top 5.
That's not bad.
It's not a bad list. No, it's not a bad list.
That's solid.
Groundhog Day.
Old Men and Groundhog Day for sure.
Absolutely.
I would replace Grumpy Old Men with the one where they're presidents, James Garner and Jack Lemmon. Because that
was it My Fellow Americans.
Yeah, because that is just fucking bizarre, the whole thing. But those guys can pull it off.
George, Grumpy Old Men was number 6 for me because I love Mathau and Lemon together. Even in their worst movies, I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, it's an amazing chemistry there.
That movie. Oh yes. Yeah, Tommy Boy is like my top 5 road trip movies. It didn't make my comedies, but it's definitely up there on some of my lists. Anyway, all right. So my number one, somebody had mentioned before, The Big Lebowski.
Yep. That was mine.
It's just insanely quotable. I love Jeff Bridges in this movie. I love everybody in this movie. It's just well written. Sam Elliott.
Yep. The dude abides.
This aggression will not stand, man. I love the Big Lebowski. The dude is awesome.
What I love a lot about I love about the Coen's dialogue too is it's not meant to be like zingers or jokes. It's just people talking, and it's the repetition that makes it funnier too.
Yeah,
it's like it just works.
Yeah,
you're not wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole.
Yeah.
Lebowski's on my top 20. That is definitely on my list. But my Coen Brothers pick is actually the Hudsucker Proxy from 1994. That for me is one of those dialogue-driven head scratchers of a movie that is all of the characters are so real, and even the ones that don't understand the weird ones are they fit into that pattern so well. The Hudsucker Proxy is one of those movies that really falls under the radar. People don't think of it as one of the best of the Coens, but I really enjoy that one. Tim Robbins,
man,
there you go. George is on my side.
I'd have to go with Coen Brothers did Oh Brother Where Art Thou, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I gotta go with that one.
I love that fucking movie.
It's not a 90s movie. That one and who did God, I'm raking my brain now.
They did Burn After Reading, if you're thinking of comedics.
No. I'm thinking of gangster movies, 90s.
Miller's Crossing?
Miller's Crossing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I like that flick a lot.
That was a good one. Yes.
I'll agree that Oh Brother Where Art Thou is absolutely the masterpiece of the Coen Brothers. That is their peak right there. All downhill from there.
And that soundtrack is awesome on that one.
No doubt about that.
There's 5 songs on there that I can listen to that are in my phone right now.
Yeah.
Actually, that movie put me on to Alison Krauss and Union Station.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's
no doubt.
So, absolutely. Oh Brother Where Art Thou. But fucking The Big Lebowski is my number one pick. Who was it? Dan had it as 5 on his list.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. Just great writing, great acting from everybody. Go ahead, Mike.
And the thing is like people slept on that movie initially, and it came back with a surge of a cult following. There was a convention dedicated to it. It's like
it's a huge cult following now.
Dan, what's your number one?
My number one is Dead Alive, or Brain Dead if you're out of the U.S.
That's your number one?
Wow.
That is my number
10
one.
10 years, Dead Alive?
It makes I'm not surprised. Let me put it makes sense.
This is my Army of Darkness, whoever brought that one up.
It was me.
I saw this when I was younger, and I was like, wait, I'm supposed to laugh at this? That's awesome. But it's the whole priest part. It's like, I kick ass for the Lord. is fucking great.
I need to see this. I just pulled it up. I did not realize that it's a Peter Jackson movie.
It's a Peter Jackson movie.
That was like
along
one
with
first...
what's the other one with the puppets before that one?
I just know Dead
Bad
Alive.
Taste.
Bad Taste. That's what it was.
Bad Taste.
I just knew Dead Alive and what was it, Heavenly Creatures or something.
Yeah.
Ooh, Heavenly Creatures. Ooh, boy, that is weird. That is a weird.
Not a comedy, but
Brain Dead.
Brain Dead though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the most cringy humor. Not like The Office cringy, but there's a part where the guy's mom is decomposing on the spot, but they're having a dinner date, and she touches this cut on her face, and this nasty sludge just comes out and flies into some dude's pudding, and he's just like, this is the best pudding, and it's like, oh god.
As a fan of the Frighteners, I need to go back and check out these earlier Peter Jackson movies.
Yeah, you need to see Dead Alive. It's amazing. There's a part with with a giant party and a lawnmower. It's just the best.
Great.
Like primo Splatterhouse stuff.
Oh yeah, but it's so overdone. It's so over the whole thing is. It's just like even the acting, which like Evil Dead has with Bruce Campbell, but is grounded by everybody else. But in this one, it's like everything is overacted. When the guy gets bit by the weird monkey at the beginning of the movie, everybody around is like, oh! And it's just awesome. I love that flick.
I got a question real quick. I meant to ask this before Dan went, but did anybody see the quote unquote sequel to Big Lebowski?
Which one is that?
The Jesus Rolls?
No. Oh yeah, no. Nobody saw that. No.
I was just curious if anybody saw it.
What?
Who made that?
Yeah.
John Turturro.
Yeah, John Turturro decided to make a sequel with his own character, and no.
Nobody talks to Jesus.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't been. John Turturro was speaking of brain things, brain damage, right? When they try to do like the Marx Brothers.
If you
Anybody?
say so, I'll agree to anything at this point. Pandemic.
I don't know. Like I caught that in like the late '80s off of HBO when I was a kid, and I'm gonna have to look that up now. Anyway,
well, you
Steve,
got me looking up now.
So
back, guys. I can't hold it anymore.
Oh boy, there goes Max.
Uh-oh.
He's at the top. That's why he's called Max. Sorry. All right. So he's got a sister named Min. So anyway, I already told you my top is Mystery Science Theater. That is what I do is Mystery Science Theater. Most of the things on my wall are Mystery Science Theater. I've got autographs from most of the cast. I've talked to these guys so many times. I've given so much money to the Kickstarters that between them and Riff Tracks with all of those guys, I admire the heck out of that. Back to that idea of Clerks, that idea of us watching movies and discussing them. The other side of that is us riffing, making fun of those movies, finding the joy in those movies, even when they're joyless, and having discussions with each other about those things. Mystery Science Theater is the other half of why we do podcasts. The idea of sharing all of that joy and pain with our communities. That's Mystery Science Theater and riffing. The local riffing troops, our local here in Chicago is called Down in Front, and they do fantastic things, gathering people together, having that shared communal experience, and that's what it's all about for me.
I don't know, man. Podcasting for me is all about the money.
Oh, absolutely. No doubt.
Of course.
Yeah.
The 27 cents we have made in our lifelong podcasting career.
Wait, you've made 27 cents?
We spent podcasting.
Harry's doesn't pay as well as they used to, do they?
We all have a sponsorship to Audible.
Oh yeah,
sure,
of course. Yeah, the movie was called Brain Donors, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to be like, wait, brain damage is Frank Henenlotter. It's like,
yeah. I looked it up and I was like, nope, that's not right.
That's definitely not it.
A basket case? No. I think 17-year-old me highly recommends that. I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
How about you, Mike? What's your number one?
Oh, it was Big Lebowski. So yeah,
there we go.
Yeah. I just to kind of go with what I said, I've really gotten into a Coen Brothers kick. I finally saw Blood Simple for the first time 2 months ago. I'd never seen it before, and I'm like, oh, they've had this degree of control and precision with their movie making and with their dark sense of humor since the beginning, and I kind of love that. And it shows up a lot. What was that?
What was the movie called?
Blood Simple. That was their first big feature.
Oh.
And introduced...
I've not seen it, so I want to check it out. I'm sorry.
Well, to tie it all together, they did a promo, or they did a test trailer of what Blood Simple was going to be. And you know who starred in that student film? Bruce Campbell. So there you go.
Of course.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, but no, I like a lot of Big Lebowski. again, like I mentioned, it's the repetition of certain ideas that makes it funnier and funnier for me, but also the weird visual, the dream sequence, just some of the bizarre acting choices. Philip Seymour Hoffman, like absolutely, like his whole like just he's hurting to laugh at, but he's forcing himself to laugh at the awkward moment with Tara Reid and so forth. It's just like so
he's in
good.
seclusion in the wing, like when he opens the door, like just he's great. Or when he's like talking about all the awards.
But of course, John Goodman and Steve Buscemi and Jeff Bridges, that they're basically the core of the movie, and they work really well.
Yeah.
So.
And Jeff Bridges took on that role just in real life afterwards. Like that was Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, it just became him.
Yeah.
I like Jeff Bridges now better than I did before because of that.
Agreed.
Steve, where can everybody find your podcast online?
All right. Too Much Scrolling is the name of the show. Go to toomuchscrolling.com and find us on all of the podcatchers. Ask your smart speaker to play the latest episode of Too Much Scrolling, movie of the week, a book of the week, and all the pop culture news that you can stand, not the podcast news. You don't want to hear podcast news. That is a movie from the 80s.
In podcast news, 30,000 more podcasts were started today.
Right.
Hooray.
And they're all making a lot of money.
Yeah, if you get into podcasting for the money, people, you're going about it the wrong way.
Well, I mean, like, unless you're fucking Joe Rogan or somebody famous. Like,
unless you're famous.
Yeah, if you get into podcasting to go to free cons, then you can do that. That's plausible. Absolutely.
Let's go to more conventions. That's where we met. Is at a convention. Let's get back to convention season.
We'll be in Indiana as long as COVID-2, the Delta syndrome, doesn't like fully take over the world.
It's a Michael Crichton novel there, if I've ever
So long as it's not the Phi Beta Kappa variant or whatever.
Yeah.
Lambda, Lambda, Lambda from Revenge of the Nerds.
COVID-2, Lambda, Lambda, Lambda. You guys can check out Mike at youtube.com/Mike McGTV. Mike, what do you got coming down the pipe?
Some more video essays, some more video logs. I've got this one thing I contributed to this kind of video challenge called The One Villainous Scene, where I talk about the movie The Guest. So check that out. And yeah,
awesome. Absolutely. And everybody that is watching, listening, please hit subscribe. Please hit like. Check us out. I started putting the videos on Instagram. Justin has started editing them down for me. And even though we're not on the Scene Snobs podcast, I do want to say check out Mick and Casey every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. And I'm going to be on Crossing the Streams with Jeff DeWoskin on Sunday at 9:30 talking television and what you should be binging. I think I'm going to do the new Jean-Claude Van Damme movie for Netflix because that's the streaming movie. I haven't decided yet, but I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going. You can also check out the interviews on Mondays at 6 p.m. You can check out the Animaniacs / the monthly pool in rotation on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. And then Friday will be some kind of a special thing. Matt Talk is on at noon on Saturday. And pretty soon, Throwback Thursday will be back with the first
What happened
episode.
to Shell and Sofa, Jason?
Shell and Sofa is the Friday night special.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it's only done like once a month. So I just say Friday night special so I can throw something in the Friday slot.
You might get more and less Animaniacs. I'm not entirely sure at this point.
I do have a lot of Animaniacs in the can.
Yeah, because he just did Yasuke. Like,
oh, geez, that was.
Yeah, I know.
That was forever ago. Okay.
Yeah, so there's like 4 or 5 episodes that they're not aired.
Okay, fair enough.
And my goal for Ernest Goes to the Gym, I'm going to be starting that Kickstarter very, very soon. If you guys could please get on that. John Cena as Ernest P. Worrell. I want this movie to happen. There's nothing.
Jean-Claude Van Damme needs to be the bad guy in that movie.
Yeah.
There is nothing I've ever wanted more than to see John Cena play Ernest. So we're going to get that going. We're going to get it trending. I'm going to mention on every episode until somebody from Hollywood reaches out with a check that I can film this. So,
somehow I want to shove in Mr. Rogers in that movie.
Goodness sake.
I don't know how, but You know,
we're gonna make it happen.
Hollywood. John Cena's hot right now, and you guys have been looking for a reason to reboot Ernest. There's no other face
have they?
Yeah, I was like, who?
It's like one guy in
Jason,
Hollywood that's like, we gotta reboot Ernest.
Guys,
no, Jason's doing that Donald Trump thing where he's like, people are saying that.
At least mine isn't at the cost of. Yeah, mine's not at the cost of a million lives. All I want to see is Ernest World back on screen. Either Ernest takes steroids, Ernest goes to the gym, whatever you want to call it, Hollywood. Just send me the money.
It has to be Ernest goes to the gym because Ernest is a wholesome character and it would not take steroids.
Also, you don't know what the impact of that would be.
Yeah, you don't know. Rebooting Ernest could prove deadly.
Yes. we finally make an AI and they see that and decide that humanity has to go.
Everybody, thank you for your
error. I don't think so.
Thank you for your continued just continued support of us. We'll be back next week. It's going to be me, Max, Dan, Justin, and maybe Mike, maybe John. We don't know, but we'll find out
And my
next
mother
week.
will tune in, I'm sure.
Oh God, I hope your mom does. Does your mom want to come on the show? We'd love to have her.
Shout out to B. You are a rockin' podcast mom.
You're a rockin' podcast mom.
Absolutely. Everybody have a great night.
Recycle your droids.
And next week we check in with John to see how his diet is going. New episode of Matt Talk drops at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. Check it out.